Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Red Cloud. Today, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to optimize your Call of Duty client and also your computers so you guys can run Warzone a lot better as well as multiplayer. Basically, when I finished doing all of these steps, I went from getting about 90 to 100 FPS on a 1080 Ti and a Ryzen 7 3800X. Not a cheap computer, okay? Pretty fast computer. I went from getting that all the way to 140 to 165 in Warzone, sometimes 175, honestly. And then on multiplayer, I went from like 140-ish to 150 to all the way to 240. So this helped me out a ton, and I really wanted to make this video because, dude, Warzone runs like shit. Okay, there I said it. I'm probably never gonna get a content creator code for it, so don't really care. It is the most poorly optimized game ever. I mean, it's like 300 gigs, so obviously it runs like crap. So, it's not optimized well. And even on a $2,000, $3,000 PC, you'd be lucky to get 200 frames. But if you use these optimized settings that I'm going to show you guys today, I'm definitely certain that this is going to increase your total FPS, and I'm sure this is going to help you guys win more games. So first things first, let's get right into it. What you'll want to do is you'll want to update your graphics card driver. So we're going to be talking solely about Nvidia cards today, and I will be making another video for AMD cards if you guys would like, but I need someone to comment that in the section below, because if not, I'm not going to do it, just because, it takes a lot of time to do these videos and stuff like that. Although Call of Duty is updating today, so I kind of have a lot of time to do it. So anyway, let's go over to Nvidia control panel. I'm going to leave a link in the description for Geforce Experience if you guys need to update your graphics card drivers. They're pretty easy to set up, not hard at all. Definitely also suggest updating your Windows, which means updating Windows and making sure you're on the latest Windows drivers and up-to-date Windows operating system, because games run better on the most up-to-date Windows. All right, guys, so let's get into our Nvidia control panel. Once we're in here, instead of using let the 3D application decide or use my preference emphasizing performance, you'll want to use advanced 3D image settings. And what we'll do after that, we'll go to manage 3D settings. And this is going to allow us to finely tune the graphics card drivers so that we can use it and get the most performance out of it. So what you guys will want to do is you'll want to pause the video at any given point in time where you guys need to, if I'm moving too fast or something, definitely just feel free to pause the video and take your time and learn what I'm doing. So image sharpening, we want this set to 0.47, and we want this on, obviously. It's set to default off, but this will make our video look a lot sharper, even on lower resolution PCs. So sharpening, that's set at 0.47. and ignore film grain at 0.17 and press OK. So I'm not going to go through everything like I said. So like I said, feel free to pause the video now, and I would greatly appreciate it if you did, because, the least amount of people having questions about this section, the better. OpenGL rendering GPU, this is another thing that I was going to go over. Personally, it doesn't really matter because there's only ever one option, so you can set it to just the 1080 Ti or auto select. That's not really important. Power management mode, we want this set to maximum performance and not on optimal power. And we want texture filter quality set to high performance as well. Everything else is basically subjective, but I would suggest copying the settings that I have here for the best results. So once you've done that, feel free to move on to the next step. Next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go to our Windows key and type power and sleep settings, or just power in general. Hit enter. Go to additional power settings right here. And this is what's going to pop up. You guys will see that you guys are on balanced. So normally this is just balanced, and normally your computer doesn't have the ultimate performance tab right here. And usually you guys have high performance and power saver. Now, there's two options that you guys can do here. You guys can either tick this from balanced and to high performance and just leave it like that and just move on to the next step, or we can get to ultimate performance, which is what I would suggest doing, because you get the ultimate performance, because who doesn't want ultimate performance? So what we'll want to do is we'll want to hit the Windows key again, type command prompt, and then there's a string of text in the description of this video that you guys will want to copy and paste just like this. And don't leave a space between this and the power config. You definitely don't want a space in here. All you want to do is hit enter, bam, and you can see that we've added a power scheme of ultimate performance to our PC. And what that does is it enables the ultimate performance to be shown here. And once you've gone back into power settings and hit that, you'll run a little bit faster than high performance. It will use a lot more power, like I said, but at the efficiency of getting more performance. And if you want to balance, like I said, just keep it on balance, but high performance is really good as well. Ultimate performance is even better. So once you've done that, that's about it. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about Call of Duty itself. All right, guys. So once we've launched up Warzone, what we'll want to do to set the best optimal settings for Warzone is we'll want to go to options, and we'll want to disable mouse acceleration, mouse filtering, and mouse smoothing. We don't need those on. And then we'll go to general, go down to dismemberment and gore effects, and take this off and set that to disabled. And for our frames per second, we can enable that, as well as our server latency and packet loss. All that stuff, if you guys want it on, that's subjective, and you guys can enable that if you'd like. And then we'll go over to our graphics, and we'll want to go to display mode. We'll want to set this to full screen. This runs a lot better, just so you know. Full screen optimized programs run a lot better. All right, next thing we'll want to do is we'll want to go to our screen refresh rate. Make sure this is set to your highest refresh rate possible, and go to render resolution. Mine is set at 100%, but what I do, I turn this down to 90. And what ends up happening for me is I end up getting like 10 to 15 higher FPS, and I don't really see that much of a difference when I turn this down to 90. You can go even lower if you'd like, and if you really need to, turn it as far down as you do to get a consistent FPS of what you'd like. Aspect ratio, mine is 16:9. Disabled every sync every frame. Custom frame rate limit, you can set this to custom. I personally believe that running on unlimited, you use a lot more of your CPU because your graphics card is pushing itself further, which basically means that if you have a lower end PC, what's going to happen if you're streaming, you're going to use a lot more of your CPU, which could lead to stuttering, which could lead to throttling. If you have a higher end PC and you're not running anything else in the background, feel free to leave this to unlimited. Personally, I run mine at 165 frames because I have a 165 hertz monitor. If you wanted to, let's say, run it at a slightly higher frames than your monitor, you could set it to 15 or 10 FPS higher, whatever you'd like to set it to. And then what I do for my menu and out of focus custom, I keep this on 60 so that when I'm in the menu and when I am out, on a different tab or on a different program, rather than my stream see a laggier stream at 30 FPS or unnecessarily running the PC at a higher frame, I keep this at 60. Nvidia highlights, we want this disabled because that will be auto recording in the background and we don't want that. The Nvidia reflex low latency is set to disabled, but what I do, I turn this on to enabled and boost, and this helps a ton. Basically what this does is that low latency mode is now enabled, optimizing the system latency. Additionally, GPU clock frequencies are kept at high in CPU bound cases. They can reduce latency but will increase GPU power draw. So you're going to be using more power from your GPU, but overall low latency. I mean, you can't really go wrong. This game, honestly, the frames might feel like crap, but the latency is what kills you. Honestly, just having that lower latency, those milliseconds in this game, it really counts. So now here, basically, if you want to just go through this and set everything on low, you'll have the best optimized settings. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Just setting everything on low is the best way to get the highest FPS, and that's what I would recommend doing. Not going to cap. Literally just go in. Okay. Literally just go in here and set everything to very low to low. Disable everything that you don't need. And yeah, that's all I would do to get the highest amount of FPS. if you want the game to look a little bit better, you could set this to normal, and you could set, you know, the cache spot sun shadows and all that stuff a little bit higher. But like I said, I'm here to get the highest amount of FPS because I like to get higher FPS. I like to run my PC the best and fastest it can be. So that's what I do. And another thing in general, before we skip this, we'll want to, wait, is it general? Yes, it's skip introduction movie. And we want this set to enabled because that intro when the game is booting up, it's super freaking loud. And it also, using all that video and stuff like that, it's just unnecessary. We're just going to skip that so we don't have to deal with any of that stuff anymore. So yeah, guys, I mean, all right, guys, and just to show you guys that these settings are lit and awesome, I'm going to be launching up a solo. I'm definitely not the best Warzone player. I haven't played this game in forever, but I am getting back into it for Cold War, and I'm super hyped for that. But like I said, I mean, well, let me turn down my audio real quick. It is way too loud. And if you guys want the best audio settings, I think boost low is the best. I think I heard from one of my good friends who's a TikTok guy. He sets this to boost low, and it basically produces the best amount of audio and like footsteps and all that stuff. So you guys can tell with my FPS right now, I'm, you know, chilling right now. 150 plus, 165 plus, you know what I'm saying? We're vibing. This is like ideal settings right now. Even when we go and look into, you know, whatever this is, I forget what this is called, Boneyard, we're getting 120 FPS plus. I mean, still, that's way better than getting 90 FPS, 80 FPS, 60 FPS, way better than that. And when we're talking about frames per second in a game that you need to be competitive with, like, it's the difference between living and dying. All right, guys, so obviously these settings are going to optimize your game a lot. It's going to run so much smoother, and I promise you guys that you won't regret taking the time to update these settings and change these settings. All right, guys, if you guys have any comments or questions or anything at all that you guys would like to ask me personally, I'm live every day at Twitch TV/RedCloud. I'd greatly appreciate it if you guys would hit me with the follow or a Prime sub. And also be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. The goal is 1,000 by the end of the year, and I'd seriously appreciate that. It'd be a great Christmas present for myself. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment if this video helped you at all, or if you have any questions, let me know. Seriously, guys, have a great day. Peace out.